big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hiban. All right, Rockstar Nation, man, I have a great guest coming from Temecula, California. I got Mr. David Serpa on the phone. Combat veteran. David, thank you for your service first and foremost.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And a combat veteran, but a realtor that is kicking butt, creating agents that make $100,000 a year or more every day. He keeps adding agents, and all of them are making big bucks. And I'm going to find out how, and he's going to tell you how today, among many other things. So, without further ado, David, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars, my friend.
Pat Hiban, how are you, brother? Excited to be on the show.
Thanks for coming, man. Hey, why don't you give everybody a little rundown on who you are, David, so they get to know you better?
Sure. So I'm a combat veteran. I was in the United States Marine Corps, and I got out with a reconstructed and fused ankle and started in real estate. I opened up 7 escrows in my second month and made more money in my third month than I made the year prior getting shot at. I started a team 10 months into my real estate career. In our second year, grew it to 7 people, and we did 117 transactions. And here we are in my third year, and now we have 27 agents. 3 of them are admins. We have done 116 transactions in the first 8 months of the year, and 100% of the agents that have been on my team for longer than 18 months are 6-figure earners, which is everybody on the cover of that magazine right there. So that's who I am, and that's what I do.
Okay, so let's get into some nitty gritty then. So, okay, so how many houses did you and your team sell last year, or did you and your team sell in the last 12 months?
So we sold 117 homes in 2016 with 7 agents, and 6 agents. One of those is our operations manager that doesn't practice real estate. And then in the last 8 months, we've sold 116 houses, and then we just added 13 agents to our team less than a month ago. So most of that has been with my agent.
Wait a minute. How do you add 30? First of all, where do you find 13 agents to add to your team? How do you do that?
So I'm a strong believer that as team leaders, we're missing a huge opportunity in that we're not making ourselves celebrities. We're not treating ourselves like rock stars. And so when you're not treating yourself like a rock star and you're not putting out the content, there's a lot of people that talk all the time, David, how do you, because people are knocking down my door, honestly. I have 2 to 3 agents a week that will want to join my team, and that's conservative. And so when I put up that I'm hiring, and we only hire pretty much once a year in October, because that's when all the agents are sleeping and they're calling it a day for the year. But we hire in October typically, and when we do, we get a lot of people that want to join this team. We get 15, 20, 30 people that all show up, and with very little advertising, because they know that we create rock stars here.
Right, but here's a guy, right? Average listener driving down the road, struggling to add 1 or 2 agents to the team every year.
Sure.
50% of the people they hire suck, and then they don't make it past 12 months. They're really kind of wondering, what's going on here. We need to get down in some nitty gritty. Well, let's go back to the beginning, all right, buddy. So let's go back, David, to So did you go straight from the Army? First of all, where'd you serve?
I served in Southern California at Camp Pendleton and Marine Corps.
Okay. And so
as a machine gunner.
When did you get out?
I got out in October of 2013.
Okay. And how'd you transition from being in the Army or Marines to real estate? Wasn't it that's a big shift?
It's a big shift. There is a lot of difference, but the thing is that if you are willing to take with you the lessons that you learned in the Marine Corps and then apply them to real estate. I tell people that, so I'm writing a book right now called The Machine Gunner's Guide to Real Estate. And it's all about using the principles that I learned in the Marine Corps and throughout the course of my life and applying those to real estate. And I think that if you're willing to work, 80 hours or 40 hours a week for somebody else, you should do 80 for yourself, especially during the building process. And I have no problem waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I have no problem grinding, but we have to rise above grinding, and we have to get to where the Marines get, which is delegation and small unit leadership and accountability. And I think that the more you delegate, the more that you wake up and you say, who can I get to do this for me? The more that you can set yourself up as a leader that's creating other leaders so that you can delegate leadership.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with it. So, all right. So, you've got all these agents, you're bringing all these agents on, you're turning them all into rock stars. Are you doing any real estate business yourself, or are you just building your team at this point?
So I am doing some business. I have not taken an appointment in 2 months now. So I am a little bit removed from the day-to-day, I guess you would say, grind of real estate, but my grind is different. It just changes. And so I have one client that I am working with that I'm selling their house and helping them buy, but it's because we're filming with HGTV, and you can't film with HGTV if you're not involved.
Yeah, you got to take that one, right?
Yeah. So we're doing that, but no, I'm not involved in the day-to-day practice.
So basically at some point about a year ago, you decided I'm going to build a business. I'm not going to be a real estate agent.
Yeah, and it was in phases. So a couple of years ago, I stopped working with buyers after about being in real estate for about a year and a half, and that was scary. Every time that you make a leap of faith like this, or a leap of faith in yourself like this, you stand to lose money. And so when I made the decision not to work with buyers, just like when I made the decision not to take listings, I do it 100%. So it doesn't mean that I'm cherry picking buyers. It doesn't mean that I'm feeding myself. I feed my team. And if we fail as a unit. And I think that that's why the buy-in is so big with my team.
Yeah. Because you're kind of like a Marine Corps unit, right? And that's
sure. You sink or swim by your weakest link. And I think that I love what you said when, what about the average guy who's driving down the street right now? And he's like, I hired my agents and 50% of them suck. And I think that 9 times out of 10, when I talk to team leads, it's not their team that sucks, they suck. And I think that when you look at that and you look at the fact that, if you're having high turnover and if you can't recruit people and you can't retain people, you have to pick up the mirror. You have to look at yourself and be like, what am I doing wrong? Because a lot of the problem is not external, it is internal. And as a team lead, you're looking at your team like canaries in a coal mine. If there's something that's wrong, they're going to be the first person that's going to let you know that something's wrong if they're a team that you've developed that's trustworthy, business savvy, and has the buy-in that they need to buy to make your tribe and your culture successful.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, how do you, gosh, I got so many questions here. So let's take about, okay. Let's just keep this simple. Okay. What specifically are you doing so that the 6 people that have been with you for 18 months, which isn't that long of a period of time, are making $100,000 or more? Like, if you took me and I was a brand new agent, I got my license yesterday, what are you going to tell me to do to be number 7?
Sure. Okay. So actually a perfect example of this, we have a new teammate that just joined my team less than, I think, 9 months ago. And he's going to be our first person to make over $100,000 in their first 12 months on the team since I did it. So, and what has happened is we've overly systematized everything so that what we're doing is we're able to leverage relationships, leverage our affiliates to make it so that we have all these systems in place. But then you have to teach these people how to fish. And so a lot of people get so caught up, these team leads, in hoarding information and not giving them what they need to do to fish, that because they're afraid that they're going to lose them. And I think that if you overly inundate them with information, you teach them how to fish, you can set them up with all these opportunities to where they'll actually close them, make you more money. And then instead of being in a scarcity mindset of like, well, if I give them this and if I teach them how to do that, then they'll leave me. Then you need to start creating other ways to generate business for your team. And that ends up being your job. That's your new grind. And so, yeah, so that's where I approach it from.
Okay. And so what are you doing specifically to create leads for them? Yeah.
So leads, or what am I doing to help them get paid?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Okay, so we're a huge proponent on this team of open houses. I think that open houses sell houses, period. They say less than 1% of agents have ever sold an open house at the open house. 9 of the 15 members that I had on my team have sold a house at the open house.
So you're calling BS on that one. I mean, that generally is a statistic used by agents who don't want to do open houses.
And they're lazy. And it's garbage. And so like the thing is, if you don't want to work an open house, find somebody who does, because that's how you create more business. That's buy now business. And the problem when people say, oh, open houses, you don't get any clients from that anyway. They're just looky-loos. Well, they're just looky-loos to you because you don't know how to close them. So you need to start.
Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
So let's talk about that. Let's keep going, deeper and deeper on this. Okay, so first of all, what do you do on these open houses to ensure you get the maximum amount of people there?
So I don't concentrate as heavily. So you get all these people who say, oh, I work mega open houses and I have 130 people that walk in through the front door. Great. I'm so happy that works for you in your market. It does not work out here. You're not going to get 130 people out here to an open house in this area, in my opinion. And somebody might prove me wrong. I think that what we need to focus on is our conversion rate. And what is happening is if you have 5 people walking through your open house, if you didn't walk away with 4 phone numbers, and if you had 5 of them all telling you that they're working with an agent, they're just telling you to shut up. It's not necessarily that they have an agent. They just don't want to work with you. And so what you do is you provide value in all situations. Even if somebody comes in and they say, hey, I'm working with an agent, I'll tell them anything that they want to know so that they have the best possible buying experience with their agent. And I'll educate them on the area because they're out there looking for themselves anyway. And then if they happen to have been lying to me about having an agent, then they're going to come forthright with it. Well, actually, I'm not really working with anyone. The price is only an issue in the absence of value. And if they're walking out the front door telling you that they don't want to work with you.
Let me slow this down. Price is only an issue in the absence of value.
Yes.
That's no joke. Okay. So I want to dig deep into this. So let's just pretend you're sitting in an open house and like you said, you get 2 people through. I'm one of the 2. Okay.
Yes.
So you're again going quality, not quantity. So I'm walking through, let's just play it off. Okay. Right. Let's just role play. Dum-da-dum-da-dum. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. My name's David. Come on in. The house is 2,000, and you got to understand, I haven't worked an open house in like 3 years, so here we go. But I teach this class, and I'm going to be teaching it again on Friday.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm David. How are you?
Good. How you doing, David?
Good. Come on in. The house is 2,300 square feet. It's listed at $325,000. The HOA is about $10 a month. Feel free to come on in, poke around, let me know if you guys need anything. So that's cool. I don't ask anybody to sign in. Because if you study NLP, if you study neurologistic programming, or if you study any sort of counter intel, you learn to read people's body language. And if somebody walks in through the front door, the first thing that you're doing is you're saying, can you please sign into my guest register? They're going to go like this. They're going to put their hands up and they're going to back up a little bit. For a body language perspective, you're already losing them because 90% of language is nonverbal. 90% of communication is nonverbal. So you have to be able to read that stuff. Let them in. Let them go look at the house. You don't have to hold it hostage. And then when they come back, that's when you start your pitch. That's when you say, so what'd you guys think?
Okay, because now their guard is down, right? Because they've already seen the house. Now they've wandered around the house. You stayed there in the living room. You didn't follow them around, right?
Yeah, I don't follow anyone around. I'm not there to babysit. I'm not there to sell them anything that they don't want to be sold. The goal is we have anywhere from 7 to 12 other listings that are being held open at that exact same time, that we have a flyer that we are marketing and co-marketing for all of our listings. So we don't want to sell them that house. We want to sell them a house, and we want to get them on. The second that you start getting pushy with people, they don't want to freaking work with you. You have to go value first. And so we tell them, oh, sorry, go ahead.
So we cruised through the whole house, seen the whole thing, walked down the steps. Thanks a lot, David. Appreciate your time. Have a good day.
So what do you guys think? It's the same thing.
Nice. It's nice.
But it's not exactly what you guys are looking for.
Nah, here's the thing.
Are you from the area?
We don't want a pool, and this has a pool. We just don't want a pool.
Yeah, I completely understand. And there's a lot of homes that are actually that are listed right here in this area. Are you guys looking to stay under 350,000? Is this about where you're at?
I think we could probably do 420.
420? Okay, so you could potentially get a little bit more house. And then are you looking to stay in Temecula School District, or are you also open to Murrieta schools as well?
Yeah, no, we definitely want to be in Temecula School District.
Okay, so something to consider just in this area alone, you got this neighborhood right here, which is a 1.3% tax rate. If you go 2 neighborhoods over, it's at a 2.2% tax rate. So if you're looking at buying at 400,000, has anybody talked to you about taxes?
No.
Yeah, it's not a super sexy thing to talk about, but it's important. So if at a 1.3% tax rate at 400,000 annually, you're paying about $5,200 in taxes. Now, you take that same $400,000 house and you put it in an area with a 2.2% tax rate, you're spending $8,800 annually. So $8,800 annually in taxes versus $5,200 annually in taxes, you're actually saving yourself $300 a month just by focusing in neighborhoods with lower tax rates. Does that sound like something that you guys might be interested in?
Yeah, I had no clue. Yeah, sure, absolutely. So,
It's wild. It's a checkerboard.
We're not stupid. We'd rather save the money if the benefits are the same.
And are you guys looking for a single story or 2-story?
2-story.
Now, at this point, that's when I repeat back to them everything that they've told me. So you guys are looking to keep it under 425,000. You would like a 2-story without a pool. What's a good email for me to send these listings to?
Rockstars@Hiban.com.
Okay, that better be a real email, Pat. I'm going to check it. And then what's a good phone number for me to reach you at?
Yeah, 443-717-7284.
And can I text you at that number?
Yeah, text, no problem.
And are you guys currently renting?
We are.
You are? Okay, great. So is this a first-time home purchase, or have you guys bought before?
We owned a house in Ohio, and we sold it, and we've been renting for a year, kind of getting to know the neighborhood, and getting to know the area, the zip codes, and we've pretty much determined this is where we want to be.
Right on. So we're in the right neighborhood. We're under 425,000. I have 4 listings that are vacant that I can show you right now. If you guys want to go take a look, what I'll do is I'm going to wrap up my house at 3 o'clock. I can meet you at this one at 4 o'clock. Here, do you want to take a look at this? So what you're doing is you're providing value through taxes. You're providing value through knowing your neighborhood. You're providing value through schools. And once you have provided so much value that you have inundated them with value, who else are they going to want to work with?
Yeah, right. So you want to pick out things that no one else is going to have told them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, or the things that are really important to people. People care about schools. People care about their dollar amount. They don't necessarily care about your favorite apple pie recipe. They don't necessarily care about, all this different garbage that we give people. They don't want your cookies. They don't want your hot chocolate. Nobody's ever bought a house because it smells like cookies. So we concentrate on the house. We don't think so much on all the garbage that comes along. So
what do you tell your agents to do, like prior to open house? You say, hey, listen, you better know the school district like nobody's business. You better, get online and study the hell out of it. And you better know, how do you train agents to, be prepared rather than just winging it and showing up?
So I teach an open house class that that we do, and we actually role play through it and everything like that. And I only teach it one time for each one of my agents. I do not work an open house with anyone. I think, it is a fight or flight kind of, you're either going to sink or swim. You know what I mean? And I never worked an open house with anyone else. The best way to do it is to just do it. And so as far as we go, I ask that everybody put up 30 open house signs. And that's it. I don't ask for anything
30
crazy other than that. 30 open house signs. Absolutely.
So they got to start like 2 hours before.
No, it takes about an hour to put up 30 signs. Because what you're doing is a lot of times you're hitting one corner 3 times.
Okay.
I used to put up for my open houses, the way that I got started was putting up 60 open house signs and 2 banners.
60. Wow. 60
open house signs and 2.5
right,
by 5
not,
foot.
Right? It's like the 10X rule, right? Just why not just right. Balls out, right? And just,
If you're working, everybody should know that you're working, because you should not just be thinking about the people that you're serving in your open house. You have to be thinking about the people that are going to start saying, hey, David Serpa's everywhere. David Serpa's everywhere. And so if you put up 60 open house signs, how many more people are you reaching? And a big part of putting up open house signs is making sure that they're branded to you or branded by something that you believe in, so that you're not going up, putting up a sign that doesn't have your name or your phone number on it. And you're putting up 30, 40, 50 open house signs that are taking you an hour. And now what you're doing is you're branding your brokerage instead of yourself.
Wow. That's awesome. Okay. I want to shift gears a little bit.
Do it.
You know, you're big on video. You've got some major viral videos. Talk to me about what you're doing with video and what you're recommending your agents do with video today.
So video is kind of it's the new frontier in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of really fantastic companies out there that are making it so that you can do video follow-up. We are not using BombBomb, but we did look into BombBomb, and it's a pretty fantastic program. What we're doing is we're using video as you educate to dominate. And so we have over 150 videos on our YouTube channel, and we're at a point now to where we're starting to release 3 videos a week. And we just started doing that a couple of weeks ago, and the response has been astronomical.
Where are you putting these videos, and what are they of?
YouTube and Facebook, predominantly right now. And what they are is they are education videos for real estate agents. They're also, I'm helping my veteran community in rising above PTSD and focusing on winning and positivity. And then they're also education videos for our clients.
Okay. So an example of one for agents, right? You're training them on something like an open house.
Sure.
An example of one for your clients would be what?
The top 10 things to do when getting ready to sell your house, okay. Or, anything like that. And then another video for veterans would be power poses, how to overcome PTSD and thrive. So it's stuff like that. It's all about attracting business through evergreen content, through video, podcast, and blogging.
And you're just doing these on your computer, kind of sitting like you are right now?
No, so I have professional equipment. So a couple of months ago, I made a massive shift, and it's been part of, so went through a divorce. I've been going through a divorce for about the last year or so. So you have to redesign your business around your life, not the other way around. And I have 2 small kids that I have 50% custody of. So what I started doing was I started removing myself from the day-to-day grind of real estate about a year ago and focusing on building a media empire through podcasts, videos, and blogs. And so I didn't go cheap with any of it. I have full-on professional equipment. In fact, if you look right here, I'm not messing around. I got to look good right here for you, Pat Hiban.
Great. So what do you got there?
I've got lighting equipment. I've got my Canon, which is my camera that I'm recording. I've got sound equipment. I've also got my podcast stuff, a green screen, and I'm all set up, brother.
And what's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel, if you just look up the Homes team, you'll find us, or David Serpa. It's very easy to find, SERPA.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. So talk to me about, how you're connecting with fellow veterans, because I want people to learn this. And I want you to talk about the NLP and the authenticity of it and what you're doing, because it's strategic.
Yeah.
But I need you to talk in a way that, knowing that not everybody is a veteran, but they may be a single mom, or they may be a mother of twins, or they may be, a dude that loves to play golf, whatever it is. They want to create videos to try to connect with that audience. How are you doing it with the veterans and PTSD, and then relate it to, anything?
So the big thing that we're doing right now is a thing called Vet Talks, which what we want to do is we want to take the TED Talk model, and we want to use veterans to educate other veterans on, and this is like the PTSD does not only affect veterans. If you have some sort of trauma that you're affected by after the point, that's PTSD. Most people are just calling that anxiety right now. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to help people overcome that mind frame of being reactive, which is shortness of breath, which is you have no ability to be intentional. And I'm trying to teach them through meditation and through power posing and manifesting how to be intentional. Because I think we learn that in childhood. We learn that in abusive parent-child relationships. We learn that in—
Stop you a little bit. Just
Yeah.
out of curiosity more than anything, but also I think people can learn from it. What is power posing?
Yeah. So, and I have a whole video on this that I'm actually getting ready to I have to shoot one for real estate agents and entrepreneurs as well. But what I do is I stand up when I meditate. I put my hands out in different ways. And what I do is I start with clearing my mind. I go towards being intentional. And then from there, I move towards receiving. So yes, sir. So here we go. You want to rock and roll, Pat? Let's do it. So, so the first thing that I do is I start off here, which is kind of stereotypical. And I think about just clearing my mind, getting rid of everything. You know what I mean? Allowing yourself to be a little bit of a blank slate. And then I move to here, which is basically like shouting from your third eye. I know it sounds nuts, but I'm nuts.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're listening on audio. We're just basically lifting our hands over our head.
Lifting your hands up over your head, putting it over your forehead, and
thumbs on your third eye. So you're just kind of doing like mountain poses and yoga and kind of like stretching a little bit.
And I'm thinking about my family, and I'm thinking about my children. I'm thinking about laughing, and I'm thinking about smiling and joy and whatnot. And then I move on to victory, and I move on to overwhelming gratitude and receiving, being open to receiving and being intentional.
And he's raising his hands now if this is on audio. So just
and it's a whole process.
So you're basically doing, it's kind of a little bit like Tai Chi a little bit, and like a little yoga, a little Tai Chi kind of, but just kind of like,
What it is so different religions, different martial arts, professional athletes, everyone works on controlling their breath, because if you can control your breath, you can control PTSD, you can control anxiety, you can control your happiness level, you can control what you're doing with your day just by slowing down and taking some time to breathe and think about what it is that you really want.
Yeah,
being grateful for the things you have.
What it is that you really want. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, digressed a little bit there. So, okay. So like somebody is a golfer, right? They're trying to connect. They do power poses. What else can they do to connect with the audience and have the same success that you've had with your videos?
Okay, so so a big part of video is understanding your video. A lot of times real estate agents, because we're all a bunch of egomaniacal type of people, we just love to see ourselves and love to hear ourselves talk, is we forget who our audience is. And I think one of the things that you do really wonderfully with your podcast is you remind us, your guests, before we even get started, who our audience is when we're reading, so we know who we're talking to. And I think that you have to remember with every video what your goal is, what your purpose is, what your call to action is. You can't just be doing it for the sake of doing it just to hear yourself talk.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. So, all right. So you're telling all your agents to do these open houses with these monsters amount of signs. You're massively training them to teach to make sure that they teach everybody coming through like they're a millionaire. You're teaching them how to do extremely authentic videos with their niche or niche. What else are you doing to get them to sell more houses?
I'm not turning them on to video because I think that the biggest part of my team is we are honoring your design. That's everybody. So if you are a paperwork admin person, I want you to concentrate on paperwork and admin stuff, and I don't want you to worry about anything else. If you are an agent and you don't want your face on signs and you don't want to make videos, I don't want you to make videos. So what I'm doing is I'm putting everyone where they belong. So what else am I doing with them? We do a daily conference call, which absolutely changed my career. Michael Hellickson from Club Wealth forced me to do that one, and I didn't want to do it. But at 7:40 a.m., we start off our daily conference call, and I check in with everybody. That's actually been a huge one for us. And then monthly, I meet with every member of my team for 30 minutes. And then I also have all of my six-figure agents coaching all of our new agents one-on-one for 30 minutes and having a daily conference call with them as well.
Wow. So you're basically keeping them accountable during these calls. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. So what we're doing is we check in with them. I say, I read the sync report, which is Commissions Inc. If you're using Boomtown or whatever backend system that you're using, tracking the numbers is huge. And I'm saying, okay, so you made 15 phone calls yesterday. how was your day? And they'll say, oh, well, I went out, I showed properties, I wrote an offer. Okay, who did you write an offer for? And what was the lead source? Well, the lead source was Commissions Inc. And then that way, other agents that are having trouble converting these leads find out that there are other agents that are actively converting them. And then like people who are working open houses every Monday morning, how's your open house? And then the agents that didn't work open houses get a chance to hear the agents that did come in and talk about all the new clients that they got. So it's a way to get them to inspire each other by honoring their design. And so that's what I do.
Yeah. And one of the biggest pieces of accountability that you have, and it's not even intentional probably, is all these new agents that you're hiring. I always said that, the best way to keep an agent that's been there for a while accountable is to hire a brand new agent.
Sure.
Because the brand new agents are always very aggressive, very gung-ho. They always have beginner's luck, which means like the first damn call they take, they close a deal.
Yeah.
And it's a phenomena that happens. And so the other agents are like, whoa, wait a minute, I need to wake up,
Yeah.
And so if you're hiring as many agents as you do, providing you're not spinning through them and you have like this chaotic culture where everybody's quitting and hiring new, providing you're keeping them, which it sounds like you are, there's accountability, that's subtle right there.
Sure. And so the thing is first and foremost, like I love what you said about beginner's luck. A big part of beginner's luck is they believe that they can do it. And a lot of times when you've made 800 or 1,000 phone calls over the course of a month and you've heard no enough times, you stop believing that you can do it. And so those new agents, what you think about, you bring about. Whether you can or you can't, and you think it that way, you're right. And so these new agents, they absolutely push some of the older agents. They inspire them. And my older agents they just want to see everybody win. So our culture is so fantastic that they're actively involved in other people's success that they're not necessarily financially benefiting from, because they give a crap about each other. And so you brought up culture. We do. So I've lost one of my 6-figure agents did leave to go start her own team. That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. And it took a long time for me to get to a point to where I was like, okay with losing people. I'm very slow to hire. This last time that we hired was the first time that we've hired in the last year, because you can't fake culture. Either you have it or you don't have it. And you have to be solid on your culture footing, I think, before you start hiring more people. And you have to be able to provide value for your older agents as well as your newer agents before you continue to hire. So that's my mindset on hiring. I have very low turnover. Typically, if people join this team, they don't leave.
That's key, buddy. That's key. Well, listen, David, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day today. I'm going to put all this information. I'm going to put David's information if you want to reach out to him. If you know somebody with PTSD, a veteran that wants inspiration, that wants to become a realtor or wants to be a realtor, he's a great guy to chat to, very open and very authentic. I'll put all of his direct information so you can contact him or reach out to him at hibandigital.com/David Serpa, SERPA, hibandigital.com/David Serpa. And David, we have this toolbox that we created at Real Estate Rockstars where all the guests that come on contribute something that they take from their business. And then the agents listening, our Rockstar community, for free can go and get this toolbox and pull out PDFs of different forms to use and systems and that sort of thing. You mentioned a few things at the beginning. What's one thing that you can provide us that we can put in that toolbox that you and your team use?
So in honor of your show, doing video here for the first time today and being a part of it, I'd love to give you guys your own private video for just your Pat Hiban Real Estate Rockstars. What I'll do is I'll send you a private link to it. I'll upload it onto YouTube so that you guys can link it to there. That way, all they have to do is visit that link, and it cannot be you. The only way to do it will be to go through Pat Hiban. I know you have a big live audience right now. Whatever anyone's curious about, if you want that video, post it. Whatever comment gets the most likes, why don't we do it that way? I'll make that video. I'll make that available to you guys.
What's the video going to be about, though?
That's what I'm saying. If somebody's got a comment of a video that they want, whether it's how to build a team, when to hire, you talked about how to get agents to perform. We talked about NLP. We talked about
let's do NLP. Can you provide us
okay.
a checklist or some information on NLP, some neuro-linguistic programming? Can you do that?
You got it, brother. That's what we'll do.
Just email it to me later. You got my email. You got my direct because we emailed back and forth. Send that to me. I'll include it in the toolbox. I'll also include it in the show notes. hibandigital.com/David Serpa. David, listen, you've been awesome, brother. I appreciate you coming on, and best of luck to you in Temecula.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Pat. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching Real Estate Rockstars. Please give us a review wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening. We eat feedback for breakfast, and I don't care whether you give me a 1-star review or a 5-star review. I just want the review. I want to know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Would love to improve things. Hey, and listen, please subscribe. The more subscribers we get and the more reviews we get, the better guests we'll get for you in the future. Feel free to reach out to me anywhere on social media. Just type in my name. I'm everywhere, and I look forward to meeting you in the digital world. Have a great day, and thanks again for listening to Real Estate Rockstars.